Hi, my name is Harold Fisher. I'm the owner of Chandler Custom Cycles. We often get the question when people come in and ask about custom bikes, just how much and how long does it take? To answer some of those questions, the determination of how much is really going to depend on exactly what it is that you're looking for. The first thing we generally ask the customer is, what kind of riding do you do? Do you do just bar hopping type riding, or you take long distance rides? Because that determines what kind of frame and what kind of setup we're going to be using. Once we get that determination, we then sit down and try to scope out exactly whether or not it's a full custom from a standpoint of a rigid frame, a soft tail frame, etc. If the customer comes in with pictures of something that they're looking for, that is greatly helpful to us. In fact, I often will give customers magazines to take home, pick out the type of frame they're looking for, what kind of gas tank, what kind of frames, etc. Then when they come in, we can sit down and go through making up parts lists. We start with the frame, determination of what kind of engine they want, what kind of transmission, etc., etc. From there we go to putting together a parts list. What we do ask, since it takes quite a bit of time to put together a parts list, we do ask if the person is sincere about building a custom, that they put down $250 down payment, and that is refundable upon the start of the custom build. From the parts list, we can get a very good determination of exactly just how much it's going to cost, both labor-wise and parts-wise. Again, it's very important to understand that the difference between a 120 cubic inch engine and an 80 cubic inch engine is thousands of dollars. So that is a great determination of how much it's going to cost in the end. Once we have the parts list together, we ask that the customer provide us a down payment. That can be, generally, we'd like to have half of the total cost. That gives us a real good start at buying the frame, the engine, transmission, and all the parts that are required for the initial build. If not, we can work out payment terms, and at that point we will order parts and start doing the assembly based on the payment terms that are negotiated. Once we have the parts list, we will start ordering the parts. When they start coming in, we start using from the frame up, putting the engine, transmission, all the sheet metal onto the bike. Obviously at this point in time, it's very, very important that we get everything fitted up properly so that we don't have to do this after the paint. We totally mock up the bike. Mocking up means that we literally build the bike minus the wiring from the frame on up. Once we have that completed, we send the bike out for paint, powder coating, polishing, chroming, whatever is required. When the parts come back from all those things, we will then start reassembling the bike, and we'll do the final wiring. Obviously, once the bike is fully wired and put together, we will take it out and do a quick test ride on it, at which point we then will take it down to MVD, get the thing registered and titled, and we will then bring it back and do a final test ride. Final test rides generally take about 50 to 100 miles. We like to do the test ride ourselves because we are very familiar with exactly how to break in a bike. And in my estimation, doing a test ride for 50 or 100 miles is a necessity. We have had instances where customers want to take the bike out immediately and they have no idea how to break in a motor so that it lasts for a long length of time. Once we've done the break-in, we'll bring it back, we'll do an oil change, filter change, get all those pieces of metal out of the engine, and we will then call the customer and transfer the bike over to the customer. We like to have the bike back at 1,000 miles to do another oil and filter change, And in fact, we also like to do both 1,000 and 1,500 mile oil and filter change. That's very important for the life of the bike. All the bikes go out of here with 100% quality. We take a lot of pride in what we do, and we've had 0 returns over 16 years, so I guess that says something for our ability to build customs.